Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to our Idea Studio. This is our weekend live stream. I am Dana,
I'm Jeb.
and as always, we're here to run down.
And I
Well,
see your boot.
you see my boot? Oh, we'll talk about the boots later. It's okay. So we're here to talk about the weekly rundown of what's been going on in Bangkok, as well as basically the past 2 weeks. Give some updates on what we're working on. Yeah, 2 weeks since I was away. I was in
Yes.
Hoi Hin. We'll talk about Hoi Hin. That was wild. Not as wild as what went down on Phuket in Soy 11 this week, but we'll get into that. That's insane. Let's jump into the chat real quick, 'cause I know we got some people here. We had Joe here 2 hours before the stream, as always. What's up, Joe? How's things in Florida, my friend? Nikki, always great to have you here.
Hi, Nikki.
Let's see, I saw Seth popped. Oh, Dr. B. We got Dr. B in the house. What's going on from Wisconsin, Dr. B? Seth jumping in from OKC. What's up, brother? Mud Kips, what's going on? Jumping in from Cleveland. Oh, Juan, what's up, brother? How you doing? Yeah, that's my boy from back in the day. We used to work at the COX together. Way back when. How you doing, man? How's life? How's Cleveland winter treating you, man?
Still winter?
It's almost always winter in Cleveland, babe.
Almost always.
Yeah, like Cleveland's one of those places where it's just cold and gray most of the time. It's kind of like the U.S.'s version of England. Very nice for like 2 weeks in the summer, and then that's it.
And why people still live there?
It's a very good question. It's a very good question.
It's like U.S. is a big country.
Massive.
You can move to like the state that has like a better weather.
Yeah.
I guess.
You could, but I mean, also like you might be economically or familially tied to Cleveland in some way. And so, like, same reason, like some people don't leave Isan, right? Yeah. So it says that's good. It's supposed to get snow tomorrow, but it was like 70 a few days ago. 70's like mid-20s.
Oh.
So if they get snow, it means it's below zero. So big swings in temperature. We've been fighting 40-degree temps here, guys. 40 degrees Celsius. So well into the hundreds for you Freedom Unit folks. Absolutely crazy heat for March. Like, we don't normally see this type of heat in Bangkok.
I think they call El Nino.
Yeah, so we don't normally see this heat until April or May. End of April, May. Like, even early April, it's not this hot. So for us to be like full swing summer in the middle of March, the beginning of March, not even the middle of March, we're in the beginning of March. Like I went out, I had to go for a motorbike ride yesterday to go to a meeting. I literally came back, I could feel the sweat dripping, as Little John would say, down my balls. And it was a sticky one. I did go out midday though, so that's kind of my own fault. I went out at 2 p.m. Like, I was an idiot for like, 2 p.m. I had to meet someone at 3 p.m. Like, 2 p.m. is fine. Yeah, no problem. Sure. Yeah, sheesh, right? Yeah, great to see you on the chat, bro. Miss you, man. So, real quick, before we get into Gypsy Beach Camp, because I want to talk about that festival. It's amazing. As always, Suki and his team puts on a great event. You guys may remember 6 months ago from Mantra Warriors, we went to see this movie.
I can't remember.
Maybe about 6 months ago, Jim and I went to see a movie at the theater. We talked about we were really excited, called Mantra Warriors. And I had said that they released it in the theater probably just for awards reasons, because it was a phenomenal animation, but it only had like a 1 week run or something, like super short. So we loved it. It's a modern style animation based on, and it's like a space opera. So it's like Star Wars, but based on the Ramakien, which...
Ramayana story.
Don't you call Ramakien?
Ramakien here, but other people in this world will know as Ramayana.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyway, the stuff Jib paints, right? So like the things on the mural in the palace, that's all the Ramakien. Those like Tosakan, Hanuman, Param, all these characters are in this. And it was, I thought there were parts that were a little cheesy. right? For
Yes,
sure, right?
yes.
Right? But you kind of, it's okay because it's an animation.
Yeah.
The animation was phenomenal. The voice acting was out of this world.
And I like the character design.
Yeah, the character design was phenomenal. Actually, I
Yeah, I
liked how they
like-
did Tosakan as like a suit. Oh, did I just give away? Okay, sorry, I won't say any more. But it's on Thai Netflix. So if you have Netflix and you have a VPN and you're outside of Thailand,
I have to use VPN.
Yeah, because it's only, as far as I know, it's only on Thai Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So VPN to Thailand and check out Mantra Warriors. Watch it in the original Thai with English subtitles because the voice acting in Thai is outstanding. And especially the like the guy who does Tosakan and like the way he's like, he just plays with his voice a little bit, and it's so good. Now again, the cheesy things are there, but again, I think it's really, it isn't cartoon, but it's not necessarily a kid's movie, right? I would say excuse me, I would say that the content is much more adult. Wouldn't you? As far as like,
Because story is adult.
yeah, the subject matter is adult, right? And like in a PG-13 light R-rated way, but there's some cheesiness there. You don't think it's PG-13?
I don't know. What is PG-13?
Like not suitable for audiences under 13.
If kids understand the story, they don't need to understand. If they know the background of the story, they will have fun to watch this.
Yeah, but I'm saying like there are some adult things that are perhaps portrayed in the. Okay, so what do you think Tosakan is doing to the princess when he kidnaps her?
Babe, Thai soap opera that kids watch it for free with parents.
This is true.
It's
And they
much more
they
than
have
this.
that, and yeah.
Much more than this.
I'm just saying there are some implied themes that may be found to be interesting, but it's a great movie. So definitely check it out. Use the VPN if you have. You need to cool off, get some Ben and Jerry Schwebby balls, like Schwebby balls. TJ, what's up? You know what I used to love? Obviously, I think everyone loved the mint chocolate cookie from Ben and Jerry's, but I used to love the was it the Chunky Monkey?
How can you eat it?
Before I was lactose intolerant. Now they have vegan ones. You remember we got it in Malaysia?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it was years ago, right? So remember when we smuggled back all those Pringles?
Yeah. Oh, that supermarket?
That supermarket, they had the
okay.
vegan Ben and Jerry's, which was out of this.
That's how you gain 10 kg in 3 days?
I probably did gain 10 kg in 3 days eating vegan Ben and Jerry's. It was so good, but I did eat like 4 pints of it while we were in Malaysia. Saturday Night Live reference. I'm not a huge SNL guy anymore, so I definitely missed that reference, TJ. But talk about smuggling, right? When we smuggled the chips, there was a recent smuggling case in Bangkok that was kind of interesting. So, a crew of Indian smugglers, like 11 of them or something, tried to smuggle 87 animals in their luggage. And they got caught at Suvarnabhumi. They even had a red panda.
Smuggle out or smuggle in?
Smuggle out.
How can they have red panda?
It's the Thai animal, right?
No. We have in a zoo, but it's not like you walk in a jungle and you find it.
Don't they have them in the wild here?
No.
Really?
We have bear.
Yeah, they have the sun bear, right?
Like the bear with the black hair and the V-neck shape.
I think called
like,
sun bear. Or star bear.
We call me Kha
Yeah.
because he like to do this to get fruit.
Anyway, they had like 87 animals in their thing, right? Crazy amount. And I like, how do you have the balls to smuggle 87 animals in your luggage? Like, that's an insane amount of smuggling. Absolutely.
Sometimes I heard about like turtle.
Yeah.
They pack in box. Like,
I've heard of that, yeah.
Ah.
I remember there was a Chinese girl a few years ago caught with a bunch of turtle keychains that had like little baby turtles in plastic ball keychains filled with like this high oxygen liquid.
Hi.
And they basically arrested her at the airport for smuggling wildlife. And she's like, no, it's not wildlife, it's to sell. And Thai police were like, no. And I remember the woman was like so like insistent. She's like, "Oh, I didn't do anything wrong. It's just we sell these all the time in China." And they're like, "You can't sell live animals," and they had to basically kill all the turtles because they've been living in plastic. But yeah, anyway, I want to talk about Gypsy Beach Camp because this was insane. My friend Sit and I went down together. Gypsy Beach Camp is a motorcycle and music festival. Runs just one day, and every year. Last year it was in Rayong. This year was in Hoi Hin. And okay, I want to talk about Hoi Hin for a minute before I get into the festival because like Hoi Hin is just too much like Pattaya for me. It's like I know like people love Hoi Hin.
No, it's not Pattaya.
It's like Pattaya with a little
It's
more
a some road
with a little bit more shine on it. Look, everywhere we went, right? There was like old Farang's day drinking.
Everywhere, they're everywhere.
We drove our motorcycles by this one soi full of massage shops, and girls were yelling at us to get massage.
We can get it on Sukhumvit Road too.
Try, but like
And like for you say offering with the drink. Even I work in Khon Kaen, that area that you visit.
Yeah.
Like on a weekend, we collect like a empty bottle that we hand to the kids to drink water, and we collect the
Okay.
volume.
Mm-hmm.
So we sell it at the shop that take it for recycle.
Mm-hmm.
When we walk there, there's the grocery next to it. There's like typical white guy, chang tank top, big belly,
Gotta have the
with the
chang
big
tang.
scooter,
Yeah.
right? Get a bottle, like 2 bottles of beer,
Yeah.
and sip it in front of the shop, and that's like 7:30
Okay.
a.m.
So, but I mean, like Hoi
That
Hin,
far, that
it
far.
just felt like this was pretty prominent in Hoi. It felt like a shinier version of Pattaya to me, right?
It's more like a family.
I didn't see too
area.
many families when we were just hanging out. But anyway, the festival itself was awesome, right? Great motorcycle races, vintage bike races, people racing scooters. There was this girl who raced an old Harley, and she won a few heats in her division. So really just like great overall event. Met like a bunch of cool people. Somehow through my buddy Suki, who's one of the organizers, I was sitting with him for a minute. And through him, we ended up meeting this guy, Rich, who owns Rich Co., which is a custom Harley builder. And he owns a dealership up in Chiang Mai. Very cool guy. Very into diving and stuff. And just cool dude in general. His dad was there, who's like a former Navy diver. All right, so just like cool guy to hang out with. And great music, right? So this one band, Bomb Attack, though, I made the mistake, and this is my mistake at 45 years old, to be moved and like felt like really inspired by the music that I should jump into the mosh pit. And my buddy Sit filmed it. And I clearly am too old and out of shape to be going into mosh pits because I was exhausted after like a minute in the mosh pit. And I sent the video that Sit shot to Jib. And actually, I think I posted it I did post it in Patreon. So it was like a behind the scenes clip. So if you guys want to check that out, it's over there. But Jib wrote back to me, "Are you having a seizure?" But it was funny though. At one point, like when I was walking out of the mosh pit, someone ran over and like jumped into me, and then bounced off of me and fell down. So it was fun. And then fucking Hero, who was like amazing live show. His show's really, really kind of like rehearsed and like polished. So like that was kind of nice. Where it was like Bomb Attack, the band who we did the mosh pit with, is like really just kind of punk, DIY, raw show. Fucking Hero, just really like well polished, like hip hop show. And then Floor, this other band Floor, was kind of like almost like an alt rock band. And I know Suki's producing them as well. But yeah, just great overall vibe, good music, and we just hung out all night and chilled and had a good time. And that, just like last year, like we left at like 1:30, and it was just like a great night. Like waves washing up on the beach, the stage, like music ends, and you take off, and it's a fun, good evening.
1:30.
Yeah, it's late. It's late.
Don't. That's why I don't want to go.
Yeah, I know you're not that late of a person.
I would
But
just leave at 10, like
yeah.
on the beach.
And you don't. We sat really close to the stage. Actually, usually it's like they have like bays of hail out to get to sit on the beach, and then some people bring like blankets and stuff. So we happen to be walking back, and we know people were already sitting up front because we didn't go up front for like the very first band. And then they were breaking down the night race track because we were watching some of those races. And so I just reached over the gate and grabbed one of the bales of hay and picked it up and carried it over to the stage area. So we had something to sit on. But yeah, it was a great, like, it's just a great festival. I'm looking forward to next year. I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty epic overall. And again, it's just a fun ride down. Sid's like one of my best friends. And I wore the motorbike boots. Can you grab one of the boots for me? Oh, no, that's a different boot. Yeah. So I wore the motorcycle boots down for the weekend. I was posting a bunch of stories on Instagram, the Idea Studio Instagram, while we were down there. These boots were insanely comfortable. So these are the ones that I worked with Don's Bespoke Footwear in Bangkok with Alan over there to design. And the design itself, like the toe shape and everything is really perfect. Now we're talking about the next iteration of these already, but because there's a few little things to change. But ultimately, like, I've never had a boot like be so comfortable. And it's like that toe box makes such a difference. Such a difference as far as, like, I was on my feet we were there for 14 hours or out for that day for like 14, 15 hours altogether. And I got back to the hotel that night. My feet did not hurt at all, which was, it's really, something when you're on your feet, walking in sand. And like, I even went up in the surf and let the water wash over my feet. Didn't get any water in the boots, right? You can definitely see it corroded the screws, the brass screws on the toe tap.
Ew.
But we're not putting the toe tap in the other one anyway, in the second version or the final version. But one of the things about this, because this is a handmade boot, right? So it's hand welted, and it's all just stacked leather inside. And so your foot, right, there's cork between the insole and the midsole, and it's a big, thick leather insole, and so your foot just molds into that, and it's not like a commercial boot just can't be that comfortable, right? And again, it's a 10-inch boot, and it's not crazy hot either. But I remember last year when we got back to the hotel, and I wore a pair of Nanyang's last year. My feet were insanely sore after like 18 hours of standing. And
Because this one, he measure your feet.
yeah, so I think it just comes down to the toe box. Like your toes, you pull your feet out, and your toes just like spread out afterwards. But it's also that leather insole, right, just molds around your foot. It breaks in over time. And of course, like, Alan's a master bootmaker, shoemaker, and like the pattern, the design, like everything his team put into it, that hand welted construction makes a huge difference. But ultimately, like, big difference for me. And actually, a lot of people were asking about the boot when we were at the festival. So a lot of motorcycle guys really interested in that bigger toe, because I think when you ride, like if you ride all day, right, your toes still get cramped. A lot of Harley guys asked about the boot, because I guess one of the guys was telling me, like, with the forward controls, like in Harley's, like the brake and the shifter on some of them, not all of them, they're not mid like on my bikes, they're out in front of you. And so, like, your legs are a little bit stretched out. And he said, like, that bigger toe would actually feel really good. Like, because you could kind of, like, flex your toes a bit. Because he was wearing, like just a pair of work boots, like Timberlands or something like that.
Next event, ask Suki if Alan can open the boot.
Yeah, maybe we have to because they do have smaller boots for some things.
Yeah, measure, take order.
I'll tell you what, one thing, walking the paddock at the event, amazing race bikes. Just like, customized, like really tweaked bikes. I really enjoyed it. And they had a deadlift competition, and there was a costume competition as part of the deadlift because Suki's a big power lifter. And one guy showed up in like a French maid outfit.
Yeah.
A guy who's like my size, and he like the outfit was clearly like two sizes
I
too
will
small.
get the costume for you next time.
Okay, yeah, I could have won best costume. Yeah. Yo, Andrew, what's going on, man?
I will dress you
How's
up.
things?
The baby that who need red Fanta.
Oh, okay.
You need hair bun here.
Maybe I should go as maybe next year I go lift. I'll enter the deadlift competition. And I'll dress as Tosakan.
Too hot. You have to wear like all green and long sleeve.
That'd be funny though.
Hot.
I would have done it. Looks fun. Jib, why eggs? 5 more minutes.
Because he is lazy egg. He doesn't want to get up and do things. So he always say like, 5 more minutes. Like the guy next to me.
No, that's
See you
not true.
in 5 minutes and that's 2
only
hours.
Only when I'm sleeping. When I say I'm going to take a 30-minute nap and I wake up.
2 hours
Wake
later.
up 4 hours later sometimes. I've like, I'm going to take a 30-minute nap at 4 p.m. and wake up at 8 or 9. Then I can't get to sleep. So I want to talk about Get Out David. Big did you
guys hear about that?
Yeah.
I would like to know if this news go
Yeah.
out of the country or not.
Yeah, for those of you not in Thailand, has the Get Out David situation about the Swiss man in Phuket, has that sort of hit international level news for U.S. friends or European friends? Have you guys heard about this? Because it's huge here. Absolutely huge news. And very interesting how some places reported it. So,
Like where? Someplace.
So I saw when the Tiger first reported it.
Tiger is based in Thailand.
Yeah, no, but they said this guy is like a international incident over a guy tripping. And then when they re-reported it, they changed it to talk about he kicked the girl, right? Which is he filmed himself kicking this girl, and then he's like, "Oh, I tripped."
And because he, like, shout the
Well,
rude word
give
before.
give the backstory so people understand the context of the story.
So, from what I watched from the news, it's like it's the nighttime that these 2 ladies sat on the beachfront stair, like almost on the sand. So for Thai law, beach always public place. So they didn't sit on the yard. They sit on the last step that like next to the sand. It's on the sand,
Yep.
let's say. And this Swiss guy filmed himself like shout to these 2 ladies in a bad word. And I believe he kicked her.
Oh, he clearly kicked her. I mean, if you watch the video, he clearly kicked her.
So after that, like no video after that. From what I see, like no video after that. But one of the lady, she is the medical doctor. She's Thai medical doctor.
She's the one he kicked, right?
Yeah, she's the one who get kicked. And like the wife of that Swiss guy come out and shout very bad Thai word to call the lady.
She had a demeanor to her that is unappealing.
So it's like she's Thai, shout very bad Thai word to other Thai lady. This is so bad.
But the way I'm just saying, like the way she carried herself is like a very unappealing sort of
And
like a personality
she
type.
claimed that she knows like a big policeman that can wipe every problem for them.
Yeah.
So these 2 ladies has to go away immediately. But after get kicked, right, the doctor called, I think they called police to like the place because they kind of maybe have an argument. Because of course the doctor speak English very well. And like it's end up at the police station, and the doctor get a lawyer, and like she go to hospital to get the physical exam. Like doctor will know what happened to her back, something like that. And it's go big because this foreigner, he run like a elephant sanctuary that he claim is like a kind of a non-profit, like animal
welfare
like
type of
something. But he charged like 15 to 2500 a day for foreigner, for tourists to visit. And they find out that only one elephant that this guy bought. The rest of that he rent. How can it be sanctuary if he rent animal to stay there?
So there's a bunch of things. There's also like this video came out of him flipping off an ambulance and cutting them off. Like
that's like on a New Year.
Like an ambulance with its lights on.
Yeah.
He cut it off.
And he blocked the road
Yeah.
and give him middle finger.
So this guy's clearly kind of a douchebag.
And he has a gun.
Yeah.
In the other case, he has a gun that not registered. So it's like, oh my God, what kind of person? Like, and then he has a photo with big policeman for sure, like in Phuket, like at his birthday party.
Yeah.
It's like when you took a photo with a guy in Malaysia, that type of style, like that thing. So yeah, it's proof that he knows like a big policeman. Which is, I think now maybe he don't work there anymore. Moved to Bangkok.
One of the things I want to talk about, because a lot of this came down. We'll get into the response to this in a minute, which is fantastic. But Thailand, there's a law or a regulation in Thailand that no individual can own a beach, right? No company can own a beach. And it's like this in the U.S. too, right? It was like if there's public access to a beach, people are allowed to be there. So even if you're just walking across, like from another beach, right? You can't bar someone from being there. And so this guy's steps went down onto the beach, right? Onto the sand, right? So this girl's sitting on the beach, sitting on these steps that go into the sand, right? Very clearly in public space. You can't own that because it's part of the beach. It's public land. And that's how it's structured in Thailand. And also, like if it's on the beach and like I've seen the images of the overhead images of the property. It's quite far back. So like even if you're in the house or in the yard, you're sitting down or something, like it's not going to bother you, someone on the steps.
Yeah.
So the guy was just being a douchebag. And what's funny about this to me is I've known maybe 4 or 5 Swiss people in my time here in Thailand. They've all been the nicest people. Like I've never met like obviously like you meet like douchebags from like everywhere, right? Like I know tons of American douchebags, Brits, French, right? Like you can be a douchebag from anywhere, but I've never met a Swiss person who wasn't just like an absolute sweetheart, nice person.
Maybe they just visit here. They didn't live here.
Yeah, well,
they live in Switzerland.
A few of them lived here for a while.
Oh.
You remember Chris from
Which one?
TU? Crazy hair Chris dated.
Okay.
Yeah, so one of the nicest guys right in the world. But like, so like obviously you can be a douchebag from anywhere, but crazy situation. And this guy's just out of control. But it was a bad week for Swiss nationals in Thailand because we'll talk about another incident with a Swiss guy beating up a Thai woman. So yeah, it got crazy. But anyway, the way the property laws work in Thailand, you can't own the beach. Mm-hmm. So this guy was in the wrong period, right? And your property can't encroach on a beach legally, right? It's not possible. And it was also a public beach. Like you could walk into there from anywhere. So the whole idea that this guy, he was just in the wrong from the very beginning. And like I said, his wife's character is very unappealing. His character is very unappealing in that regard. But like Thais often do, netizens they're often referred to, right? They get wind of something, of some type of injustice, and then they deep dive on the facts, and they find like you never want to be on the wrong side of the Thai internet, because they'll find like professional investigators should just hire the Thai internet to find stuff, because they dive deep. They'll pull things from your background. And they found like the paperwork for this property, that it's not registered properly. There's all types of crazy stuff. But on top of that, Thai people then, and I'll let Jib dive into this a bit more, they just started showing up, right? And those steps became like the #1 photo spot in Phuket for like a week. People were having parties outside those steps. There's group photos of like 400 people on the steps. And this is where the term, like the hashtag Get Out David came popular, is people started to go there and hold up signs that hashtag Get Out David or just Get Out David, and to really kind of force the government to take a look at this. So talk about some of that response, like how people showed up and the things they found when they started to dive in.
So because the people who live in Phuket long enough, they know that that beach is public place, but it's like expensive.
Me too,
Villa somehow get the land and build 100 million baht villa there, which is not supposed to be there, but what can you say,
And
right?
then they also encroached into the beach.
And then people check the land plot, and then they file a complaint to the district office about the size of the land. So they ask civil engineer to measure where exact the land end for this house. So they find out that just the first step, that come from the yard, that one belong to the land. The rest of the step is stick into public place, so stick into the beach. So then people just raise a campaign to go to that the step, take a photo. So they kind of like a small party that people bring food to give away, and people grouping and take photo, not on the first step that connect to the yard, but they took photo at the step that on the sand. It's so funny.
Hilarious, like pictures of like 40, 50 people, hundreds of people, and holding the signs. And there's video of people just party, playing music. They really went all out. You got to appreciate the effort that they put in to be let's annoy this guy as much as we can. And Joe says here, you don't put your hands on anyone. Absolutely. And we'll talk about the next case with the Swiss guy as well. Like I said, bad week for Swiss nationals, but also two outliers. Like I said, every Swiss person I've ever met in Thailand, absolute sweetheart of an individual, great people. So these two guys, if they might be the only two Swiss douchebags around.
They cannot represent Swiss.
Yeah, they're definitely not. Joe says give him the boot out of Thailand. So the government did. So the government has revoked his visa as a result of these actions. Basically, I don't know what type of visa he was on, but I was saying to Jim,
I think it's a business visa.
Was he on a B?
That's what the news said.
Okay.
It's a business visa.
So very easy. I was thinking he might be on an elite visa, which is also very easy to be revoked if you have legal issues. But I mean, ultimately, I'm glad to see that the Immigration Bureau took such a strong stance, because assault of anyone is the assault of anyone is really bad.
Actually, the immigration in Phuket said have to wait until the case ends.
Yeah.
Before they can reject the visa. But I mean, they're not gonna give business visa, but gonna give a kind of a lawsuit, waiting for lawsuit visa, that type. But then next day there's letter from the province governor write to the like a police unit
Yeah.
to say this guy is like danger to community, dangerous for community, and other like kind of violence and like should not be here.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Frank saying he was on a retirement visa.
Is it?
Maybe.
And then
Yeah, it was set to expire like in March. I knew that.
and if he has retirement visa, how can he work here?
Yeah.
Because he has a business and he has a name for a business owner.
Oh, this is true.
Like
too, yeah.
49% of the company.
Yeah, so you definitely wouldn't be able to be on a retirement
So,
visa. Yeah.
that letter go to policeman, and then the minister
See,
of
now Frank gets the correct. It was a B.
yes. If
See,
you
Frank,
listen
Frank
Thai,
spreading misinformation.
if you can listen Thai, Frank, it's on the Thai news. Don't get
There's no way he's my age, Frank. There's no way.
no
He
no way.
looks like 20 years older than me. Come on.
So, what I'm going to say? So,
Joe.
Anutin,
Joe.
he's a minister of.
Hamilton, yeah. Former
some-
health minister. Now
And
he's
now
like
he's like-
sub-minister of something.
No, he's a minister of
Oh.
the like minister that take care every province in Thailand.
Okay.
Like
Interior.
like the guy who run the province has to report to
I think
him.
Minister of Interior?
I don't know what they
something,
call, but he said on the news that immigration police must take action for this case.
No.
And then next day, no more visa.
Anything going to run for PM
Of course.
eventually?
Yeah.
I think no politicians had a higher, is at a higher profile publicly who's not the PM other than Anaton. Health minister, now interior minister. Yeah. So let's see. Frank said the other Swiss guy suspected to be in altered mental state. His family say it changed recently. Oh yeah. So let's talk about this guy. The other case of this, the other Swiss man this week. Basically, a woman bumped into him in a shopping mall, or like a shopping plaza, and he beat the shit out of her. And to the point where she had to be hospitalized, and she has like a 1-month recovery period, is what the news is reporting. Now, again, another Swiss guy, and this one I don't know all the details of, but thinking that he was in an altered mental state definitely makes me feel like that could be possible, because all the reports like that he was screaming, he was incensed, and he beat, like, this woman that he beat was older too.
Aww.
So I mean, yeah, it's just a wild week. I mean, that's a much sadder case. I mean, it's just like, it kind of is like the cherry on top of everything. Like, you know, like for like this other Swiss dude, it's like, hey, then this other Swiss dude beat up a Thai woman at a shopping mall. Just like bad timing. But, you know, that's a real, you know, it's a real issue. Like, to think like if you are having mental issues and you're a danger to society, that's a problem. And I don't know that there's infrastructure for mental health treatment in Thailand.
Not really.
Yeah.
You see, like a homeless. Not all of homeless that has a mental issue, but
There's no way that dude is
are you sure, Frank? 45 or
45.
54?
There's no way.
Really?
Yeah.
If he is 45, real 45, it's like
That's the same age as me. I mean,
it's like he must have a tough life or something
Like-
that make he look like 60, and his wife is like in 50s.
here's the thing. Like, I'm not saying I look young by any means, but like, if you look at me and look at that guy, you wouldn't think we're the same generation. You know, that's insane to think if that dude's 40. That's got to be a misprint, Frank. Yeah, for sure. Now, the other guy, like I said, it's a very unfortunate case. And Frank said here, The other guy will not accept bail, and police are having difficulty communicating. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think there's a larger question to be had about mental health infrastructure in Thailand for sure. You know, that's definitely a thing that can be brought up, but you know, I don't know all the facts on that. Other legal stuff this week, a Thai reporter won a defamation slash libel case against a property developer who sued them over their reporting, saying that it was defamation. But the court actually upheld that if what you print is factual and in the public interest, then the entity doesn't have the right to actually sue you like that.
He's really 45.
Really?
In Thai news say 45.
Jib's confirming age.
What? Really?
It must just be widely misreported. It's just going to be misreported. But so the thing with the defamation case, like I've talked about this a lot, like the ability for people to sue other people in Thailand over public statements is a bit too liberal in my opinion. And especially if you're in the media and you report on something, you know, I'm glad to see that the court upheld it as like a freedom of speech thing. But to actually say, like to actually like find in this woman's favor or this reporter's favor was good, I think. And it goes to help the freedom of press in that regard, that they understand that there are now legal protections for them. Is this for mosquito bites?
Why? For acne.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I found this thing on my desk when I was cleaning it. I was like, what is this?
For your arm, when you have.
Oh, yeah, that's right, when I had the pimple, yeah. So, yeah, I just thought that was an interesting case on the defamation. And one of the things that's really interesting to me for this week was the story that the PM wants to bring F1 to Thailand. As a race fan, I love that idea.
But where?
As an urban design fan, I hate that idea.
Where?
So I don't know. So
Kolat.
I don't know that it would have to. It couldn't be in Bangkok, right? It just
please don't.
Yeah, it's not. It would be one. It would be great for the city if they did, but it would have to be. This is the problem. If you build a track, like just a straight F1 track, it's got to be out in like Muangthong Thani, Thonburi. Right, like somewhere like that. There's no space for a proper F1 track in Bangkok.
Yeah,
you'd have to be on the outskirts. Pathum Thani. What?
Buriram.
They've already got M1 there, so it wouldn't make sense to put M1 and F1 in the same city. Oh. Right, because they don't race on the same track. Right?
Cannot.
No, cannot. It's a different style of track. A lot of things different about it.
Okay.
And they're not going to do a road track. Right, so you're not gonna have a track that goes on the public roads and has partial track. By, you know what? Like, you could do. Keep in mind one of the rules for F1.
I don't know that.
One of the rules for F1 is that you can't refuel.
Okay.
You run on one tank of fuel.
Okay.
So, you know that's one of the things that makes it interesting. Is like everyone's competing on these certain things.
Set up in fine,
Yeah. See, Dr. V says F1 in Thailand, that would seriously have to increase the capacity of racetracks. They would have to build a new track for sure. They couldn't do it on the M1 track that we have here. Just wouldn't be the MotoGP track wouldn't be possible. Attended MotoGP Buriram 2018. Yeah, I want to get out for one of the races in Buriram. My buddy Jack is the manager of the owner of the Thai Valvoline team, and they are like they've won like 3 years in a row now, but at the 400cc class. But it just looks like a blast. I got to get out to it, but they couldn't do F1 and MotoGP are not the same type of track. So if the PM was able to successfully lobby for an additional track in Thailand, here's the thing. Logistically, only Bangkok makes sense. Or maybe Phuket might make sense, but there's not space in Phuket to build a track.
ขอนแก่นเนาะ
it has to be somewhere where they can bring, because think of all the logistics that have to come in, right? So you've got to move all of the cars, all of the infrastructure for the broadcast.
ขอนแก่น I guess airport
Yeah, well, I don't know. Do they fly it in? Do they ship it in? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how they. There's a great channel called Wendover Productions. I think they did a video on F1 logistics. I'll have to rewatch that. But to be able to move everything in, right? It'd have to be somewhere with either a huge airport or a shipping port where they can bring stuff into. But think about everything they've got to move in. The infrastructure. They have to build a completely new track. You're probably talking $100 billion investment from Thailand.
huh we don't have that
Now, well, they have that, but would the ROI on such an investment pay off? Like if there's only one race a year at that track, or only one F1 race a year at that track, how much stimulus to the economy would it bring? And then it comes down to location, right? So if you're an F1 fan and you travel to, like my friend Gareth is a super F1 fan. He's gone to Singapore. He's done races in Europe. He's been races in America, right? So like he's traveled for it. But to think about if you come to Thailand, are you going to come to Bangkok and then go to Buriram for a race? For instance, if they did or they do it in Pai, right? Where it's like really rural and remote, hard to get to. So it's going to be a location that is attractive to tourists, easy for people to get to when they come to Thailand, and that can support that type of influx of short-term tourism for an event, in general. So I think you are limited to logistically and infrastructure-wise Bangkok and Phuket. So Bangkok meaning the larger metro area, Muang Thong Thani, Pathum Thani, Thonburi, Nonthaburi, like those areas where you could potentially build something out, even maybe further Samut Prakan, Samut Sakan. But then if you go Samut Prakan, Samut Sakan, you now have the issue of being on land with a much higher water table, and you're building a $100 billion baht track that potentially is gonna have to deal with shifting land, right? So that rules out everything south of Bangkok, in my opinion. So now you have to go to Muang Thong Thani, you have to go to Pathum Thani, Nonthaburi. Like those are your options. How appealing are those to tourists? Now, if you extend the train out to wherever it's going to be, and then like, hey, I'm staying in Bangkok. We got a great place over in, now this makes those northern neighborhoods, Ari, like all of that, Chatuchat, La Prao, all of those types of areas, very popular all of a sudden, right? Great for like, hey, I'm staying there. It's a 20-minute train ride out to the track. The train, it's race day, so the train's running all night, right? That makes it appealing. But now you're talking about infrastructure expansion, highway expansion, parking, right? Imagine the parking you need if you're going to do F1 in Thailand. So there's all this stuff that they have to think about. I would love it. I would love to be able to go see F1 in Bangkok. Absolutely. Am I going to do it if they have... I think, are people going to travel in to see it? I think Bangkok's really your only option, right? So, because I don't think Phuket's big enough to support it, right? Like just in general.
The whole island,
yeah.
track.
So let's see. Dr. D says they have to find a place with the right humidity. Ubon has a large military airport. They could bring all that in. Would have to be dry season. Ubon, yeah, but again, so they could bring it in Ubon, right? I've been to Ubon. It's not the greatest of places. It's kind of like a small town versus a small city, or a big town versus a small city. But yeah, it would definitely have to be dry season. But it's super dry and dusty in Ubon. And then who wants to go to Ubon just to see, would they be able to attract tourists to Ubon for F1? I don't know. But they definitely have the space to do it. That's for sure. Yo, Nikki, happy Sunday, both. Sorry, my fur baby has hurt. Oh, no, in the garden, so I had a mad half. So, fur baby okay? Is it just like, do they break the nail and kind of get to the quick? What happened? They feel okay now?
There's something about nail. It's like it's very hurt for me.
So Joe says, so between Suvarnabhumi and Pattaya, but again, you're dealing with land that is potentially has a high water table, and that type of investment in infrastructure now that would work, right? Because you could then put people between the two, but then transportation out there becomes a challenge. I think if you do it, you're better off going north of Bangkok and extending a train out. That's what I think. But yeah, between Bangkok and Pattaya, if they're going to extend a train out there, like take the airport rail link, extend it out, that could work. But you would have to really up the capacity of the ARL. Ubon Ratchathani could be done there, could create an entire market around. Yeah, you could, but again, I have issues thinking that people are going to want to go to Ubon to see a race. And then it's also, you'd have to really bump up the airport there to go from, like, hey, you're flying in directly to Ubon Ratchathani on F1 weekend, right? You'd have to have additional routes.
So actually, for Dr. B idea, it's like how they did with Buriram.
Yeah. No, and Frank says the F1 track can host music, other events year round. The one in Austin has, so you can host other events there, and there are other race circuits that you can have locally as well. So the track isn't just sitting, right? Like there's like F1, F2, F3. There's also you can have local racing on it, like if it's approved, right? Smooth tire racing, right? Then they're not gonna let you do like rally stuff on it or use it as part of a rally, but. Right. Again, it's attracting those events to Thailand, and then even like if you throw that up in like if you want huge music festivals or something like that, there are other things you can do on it. But will those really top up compared to what F1 brings? That's my question. And again, it's more about the infrastructure, where you build it, how you get people to it. Again, Ubon's not a bad idea. Like from like all of the logistical side of it, like I said, if everything can be flown in, Ubon's not a bad idea, right? And you could sort of like boost a town with something like that. And it has the space, and the land seems stable, even though it's like, it's a bit dusty. That's my only thing. Every time I've been to Ubon, I'm like, it's dusty here, right?
It's dry.
And like you see cows in the middle of town. But I do love the food in Ubon Ratchathani.
Because it's some tam, ใช่ไหม?
Chai, sometimes people are spicy. Oh, I love how spicy they make it.
Oh, that's hurt.
And you say spicy, and they want to F with you as soon as you say, like, oh, okay, farang, you want to do this? Let's do this. Right? I love that about Ubon. And the people there are great too, right? So in Isan, like people tend to be really nice, like kind of like country people, like really sweet and. Like Thai people in general, but in Isan, right, that's the people seem to be that way, right? Just really sweet, welcoming, like nice people, good food. So Ubon wouldn't be bad from that perspective, but again, if it's a destination, how much of a destination does that become if it's in Ubon year round? They'd have to really invest in additional things around Ubon Ratchathani to bring that in. But again, you F2, F3, all of that can come in. You can have they do the local races at Buriram, not just MotoGP, so you could do local races on that track, right? You could do big concerts, things like that. But festivals, because like a lot of times at festivals, people will camp around the track and stuff. Like my friend John, who you met a few years ago, I remember from Chicago, he camps at Indy every year at the Indy 500. So he goes out, him and his friends, they bring trailers and tents, and they camp for a whole week. And, they play music every night, drink beer, fires, everything. And then they go to race day, and then they camp one more night and go home. So, like, that's a big thing. And camping seems to be getting much more popular in Thailand. So you see a lot of people camping. Uncle Dave, gotta love Thailand Dave, he said that he's been to a few camping spots and it's just packed with people with RVs now. and like overland trailers. So people are getting really into it. So that could be part of that. That could like sort of tap into that culture for sure. Again, as a race fan, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it, but challenging to think about it. Yes, Nikki, thank you. Please hit the thumbs up. If you do not hit the thumbs up, we'll find you and we'll waterboard you with buckets full of Thai tea. So think about that. Yeah, split it. Do not know garden, not get much in the... You had to use... Yeah, he's snoring now. Okay, glad he's okay.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, that sucks, though. Sukhothai... No, Sukhothai is a historic location. They would never
They have
do
an
that.
airport, but just Bangkok Airways.
But I don't think they would... Because it's such a historic location, I don't think they would build, like, a track there. And I think Ubon's a better...
Maybe they have, like, land somewhere
Yeah.
that they can build.
But I think Ubon's a better choice than Sukhothai, in my opinion. But I also think north of Bangkok's the better choice, like Pathum Thani, Udon Thani, because you can extend the train, things like that.
Ciao.
Come to Pattaya for the race, get a soapy. So Joe, are you gonna bid to open up a soapy in the racetrack? So like as people can watch from the tub. If F1 would come to Ubon, they would have to build an entire market around. Yeah. American GIs made Thailand famous for travel. It all started somewhere. Same with Hawaii. It's all about them. Yeah, you can definitely market it, right? You definitely do it. I don't think Ubon would be a bad choice from a lot of perspectives, but I also don't think it's optimal. I'd rather see it be around Bangkok because there's more infrastructure inbuilt for it.
Yeah, but it's bad traffic.
No, that is the other thing, right? So you're
And
dealing
like,
with
how you gonna build a track? Like the land is so expensive.
like I said, you have to go north. You have to go Pathum Thani, Munthan Thani, Nonthaburi.
It's not that cheap, no.
True, right? Ubon would be much more feasible financially. You would to Dr. B's point, it would have to be very centric around the marketing for it, in building like Ubon, basically changing Ubon's entire economy to support that infrastructure.
Yeah, so like if someone really like invests to build that track, and then like I think local people will try to like build a hotel, hostel, and restaurant, build it more because they know that people gonna come.
Yeah.
But now they just say, okay, just this size is enough to support visitor. But if something big happen, they will build more, I believe.
Last time I stayed in Ubon Ratchathani, I think I stayed in the tallest building in Ubon, and it was like 12 floors.
You told me.
Yeah.
So that because that's enough.
Yeah, it is enough. It's more than enough. But again, it would take a huge economic shift. But how long would the ROI on that be?
I don't know.
Right. That's the question. I love the idea. I think it's brilliant. Singapore does really well with the F1. Malaysia didn't. They let theirs go. So they closed down the circuit in Malaysia. So it would be interesting to see a Thai circuit. So yeah, I'm game for it. The more I think about Ubon, I do think it's probably a better solution. One, price wise, like you said, right? Because you could do a real like kind of compound track as opposed to just like a track with things around it out in Ubon and really build up things. But then Ubon needs to invest in infrastructure and all the ways to move people out there. And maybe they just build a train that goes from downtown Ubon to the track. And that's possible too. Or like from a hotel section to the track, which would be cool. And then, the camping thing here. So Dr. B says camping thing may work. Wisconsin has the fly-in each year that has more people than hotels can hold, so it becomes a huge camper event.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like camping at events like that is kind of fun, right? It's a good time, and you can really enjoy it. Like, and I was talking about we should do moto camping out for one of the MotoGP things. Ride out with the motorbikes, camp for a couple days, go to the races, come home. right? That's just a fun trip for a couple of guys, right? Get a campsite, get some drinks, right? Hang out at night, then come back. I think that's cool. Do I remember? No, man, that never happened to me. I know a few friends who have had that issue. With the dribble, little antibiotics cleared that right up. You look so confused. With north of Thailand, what's the elevation, water table? Can they handle? So when you get up north, like you get north, it's not as bad as south, but it could still be an issue, right? The water table could still be too high, right? You definitely don't have the high water table issue in Ubon Ratchathani.
No, can go for Saraburi.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like you get to Ubon Ratchathani, that's definitely not an issue,
Correct.
right? Not a problem. It's
But flood sometimes.
dry as fuck.
But when it's in rainy season, it's flat.
Yeah, but they would obviously build, if you're building a track, you build infrastructure around the track so that it doesn't flood at the track, right? The water goes everywhere around it and then sheds off, right? You pick those areas like that. The more I think about Ubon, right, the better it comes to me. Like very viable solution. Again, it's a longer ramp up to build it to the point where it's like a huge thing, but it could be a really fun thing, right? And like if you talk about like boosting local economies, like if they got one F1 race there a year, that's a huge thing, and then all the other stuff they do with the track, it just kills Joe's soapy idea. No tub seats at the F1, Joe.
Sorry, Joe.
Bring that. Are there any NASCAR races outside of the U.S.? I don't think so.
What is NASCAR?
NASCAR is like American racing with they look like normal cars almost.
Oh, with the
Stickers all over it.
and like one person next to the driver.
No, that's rally racing. NASCAR is like they race on an oval.
Ah.
Right, and
Okay.
they just race 4 turns only.
And you peel later, just drive one way.
Yeah, just drive one way. They camber the tires so that you turn that way. But I think it's only the U.S. Like I don't think
Okay.
they have any in Canada or anything. But NASCAR is fun, but I think F1's more interesting to me. Have combined effort between Thailand, some UAE investors plus European investors. Yeah, definitely could. UAE, like that whole Middle East area, they want to invest in everything now. Any sports. Racetrack, casino, hotel. Well, if they do the gambling thing, Thailand, we talked about a few weeks ago, Thailand has proposed to legalize gambling.
Again.
That could very well work in somewhere like Ubon Ratchathani with a racetrack. But I think they're going to limit it to like Pattaya as like a gambling zone. No, not legally. Not
the legal one. But you can find it everywhere.
Yeah. Definitely a handful of illegal ones I've been to. But,
you have to know someone who bring you to that place.
But they proposed it it's failed a few times. They proposed it again. And it's always for like a gambling zone. It always seems to be sort of focused on like Eastern Seaboard. So like Pattaya area, which would make sense. Like if you're gonna stick that somewhere, sticking it in a place like Pattaya makes sense. Right? Like, but what would probably happen too is they'd want to put one in Bangkok at least, right? Like one big casino. This would start motorhome market in Thailand during the race weeks. All of them are in Ubon for the rest of the year. The motorhomes could be elsewhere for camping. So actually, I'm sure, Dr. B, you've seen the Hilux Champ, which is that new Toyota pickup, which is really interesting, like $12,000 pickup, which is pretty cool. And it's a legit truck as opposed to like the Suzuki Swift, which is more of like a very light use vehicle. The Hilux is like a proper work truck. When I was at the motor show with my buddy Matthew, the camper option for the Hilux Champ, was the most popular option. You had to wait in line to go see this thing. It was like a line around the corner. It's a 2 million baht add-on to the Champ. So the Champ itself is like 390,000 baht. And if you want to add the camper options, additional 2 million baht.
What?
And there was a line of people. You had to wait like 5-6 minutes just to walk through the camper.
Oh.
So very popular, right? People want this type of recreational thing. In my mind, though, like I'm a DIY guy, I could build a camp, like a crappy camper for like less than like 500K. No, in my like that's what I think. Now, of course, it wouldn't be insulated or air conditioned. It wouldn't have a flushing toilet like this one. But like that's kind of to me that's like the fun of camping, right? It'd basically be an aluminum box with a fan and two beds, right?
You go with said, I'm not gonna go.
But like, there's clearly a market. People are interested in these things. Like I said, Uncle Dave from Gotta Love Thailand, he was saying, like when he goes camping, he has a trailer, an overland trailer that he drags out now. He tows out places, and he says like people are like everywhere for this. Like they're really into it, and like some people have built up whole trucks, and then our friend Good and her boyfriend, they built up this entire like a van to go camping in, right? They have their little VW van. So, like, people are into this in Thailand despite the heat. So, camping is popular. People like it.
Maybe people get tired of the city.
NASCAR is just slow race car racing. Yeah, I mean, there's some technicalities to NASCAR, but it is slow by comparison to F1 or Indy. Very slow by comparison. Yeah, it is just the U.S. If they limit the gambling zones, maybe Ubon would be that possible. I mean, think about too, Ubon, like anywhere that you're near Laos or Cambodia, right? There's usually casinos on the other side, so a lot of Thais in those areas do cross just to gamble. I would invest in a casino. What is the Helix Champ price compared to the Isuzu? It's like considerably less. The Isuzu is quite pricey, I believe. It's like closer to $1 million baht. Yeah. I could help you build the camper. It would be a super nice one as well. Have revamped buses before and sold some for good money. I'm building the, what do they call those, schoolies? Is that what they call those, Dr. B?
It's a yellow school bus?
Yeah, and then they turn it into like a camper.
Oh,
I think they call it a
prepare
schoolie.
for zombie apocalypse?
Yeah. One of the things that these channels that I really like, I really like these Japanese channels where they take the key trucks, the little tiny pickups, and they build wooden campers on the back, and then usually these channels are like just like no dialogue at all, right? It's just like someone building a trailer and then they'll go camp in it. Right, but they build them out of wood in the back of these trucks, which is going to be super heavy, right? So, and these trucks are not made to handle weight. And then they'll go out somewhere and they'll film themselves just camping, like cook their food, like do all their own stuff, and then that's it. It's just them, like doing the camping and like setting up and like eating, cooking food in their little thing, sleeping, wake up, go home. Now it's cool to like you enjoy it, you go do it like that, but man, a wooden camper in the back of a truck. And keep in mind, Japan gets cold, right? So these people are like really like probably freezing out there in these little things. What do you say with the heat? You also have the sun. I built a solar panel system for AC units and reefer units. Yeah, you could definitely get use of solar here on a camper. But what I think would be ideal for a camper is like one of those box trucks like that they deliver stuff to at like 7-Eleven. Like that would be, it's already a lightweight aluminum thing. And I've seen they've got this insulating paint that has like an R value of 8. And you just paint it on the outside. And it's got its own insulation value. But there's a lot of things you could do. I'm not too into buying a camper really. It'd be like not something I would use a ton. I'd motorbike camp more than I would go out in a camper. And Jim's definitely not down for going out in a camper. I think you would do a tent before you do a camper, probably. Right? Actually, the other thing you see here a lot too is people buy pickup trucks and they put the roof racks on them, and then they put the tents on the roof rack.
And then open it.
And then you go out somewhere, you just pop it open, sleep, close it, go home. I think, like for me, practically that makes more sense than a camper. Like I remember I had neighbors growing up. They had a tent trailer. I think it's like a trailer, and then you get to the campsite and it pops open in the middle, and then it's like a whole tent, and then they would camp in that. But then, like, we lived in New England, right? So same as living in Wisconsin, Dr. B, right? You get out there, you pop the tent, and then, like, you spend, like, a few weeks in the summertime or the spring out camping, and then it stays in your yard for, like, the other 50 weeks of the year. And then it sits there all winter, and, you know, you've got to clean it, air it out every year. It's a lot of work, but I don't know. I think like motorbike camping is nice because you bring a hammock tent or a tent. You get out somewhere, you set it up, hang out with your buddies and motorbikes, talk, chill, go home, and it literally fits in like a closet, right? And like you do it in Thailand, you could camp all year if you don't mind the rain and you don't mind, you know, the heat. And that's part. If you're doing it for fun, to me the camping in the rain is fun.
It's not fun for me.
No, but that's why you don't do it.
Okay.
Right, but there are things to it like that I find
prefer
interesting.
hotel room with AC and bathtub.
Well, for most trips, yes, me too. Actually, I'll tell you what. At Gypsy Beach Camp, I stayed at a place. Actually, the first place I booked two bungalow, and 2 bungalows for me and my buddy Sit, and they canceled literally the day before my trip. Canceled the day before my trip. I was like 18 hours. I was pissed. I booked another place kind of like last minute, and it was nice. It was good location. It was clean, like huge room. Like from a quality perspective, like everything overall, good location for us. Easy to park the motorbikes on the side soil, like no problems. And they had food if you wanted noodle. They had like pork noodles in the morning, which obviously I didn't get, and then instant coffee, which I also did not get. But the bed was like these cheap hotels in Thailand. Like this is the thing. Like you get like you get a place like last minute. There's a festival in town, right? Not a lot available for me to book. And you get these beds that are basically like wooden boxes wrapped in foam with fabric on top of it. The most uncomfortable thing. I feel like I dislocated my shoulder sleeping. It's just like, especially when you're a big dude, right? Like the surface you lay on has to have some give to it. Like if you're small, if you're jib size, yeah, that bed's still uncomfortable, but she's okay, right? When you're my size, like every time you turn, you feel pain when you're laying on something hard like that. Even Sid, who's like not a big dude, he's like, oh, it's not great. So, you know, and also the other thing, the description of the room didn't match because I booked a suite and it was supposed to be 2 full-size beds and bunk beds. It was like the only room available. They called it the Quattro, right? And they were trying to put us in a room with like 1 queen-size bed, right? And he's like, oh, only 2 of you. It's okay, 1 bed. Like, no, I booked a room that's supposed to have 4 beds. He's like, oh, 4. And then they put us in a room with 2 beds. So it's like there was a real disconnect between the understanding of what I booked and what they wanted to give me. But, and also I posted a funny photo. If you guys follow the Instagram for Idea Studio, the doorway to get up into the stairs was shorter than me. So it was like I could stand there and my shoulder touched the top of the door. Sid took a photo. I looked like a giant. It's kind of funny. But, yeah, that's one thing. Like, those, like if you get a hotel, like, you just get a nice hotel. But, again, 18 hours to book a place, not the greatest selection. End up sleeping on this, like, box. I've made a few as a motor or workstation. Oh, nice. I saw a guy online. He had an old schoolie that he turned into like a half pickup. So he lived in the front half and the back was like a work area and everything was like really organized. You could pull it out. Box truck floor usually has formaldehyde on the. Ooh, it must be. Okay, yeah, that's it, definitely, yeah. Definitely don't want formaldehyde. Tent trailers are awesome. Can be very rugged. Yeah. The ones that go in the pickup truck look pretty fun. I've done a lot of motorbike camping, especially when I lived in... Motorbike camping's great, right? Because you strap everything to the bike, you take off, and it's just like, if you're with a couple of buddies, even if you're solo camping, it's just like, it's fun. It's definitely fun. I like hammock camping, like hammock tent. I find that super comfortable. The real problem with that in Thailand is most of the campsites aren't like heavily treed with thick trees. So it's not always like a good location to set up a hammock. But to me, that's the most fun. Then you can put like the tarp over it, so you have rain protection, right? To me, that's the most fun way to camp. I really enjoy it. Reason I got into all this was I made a mobile workstation. Would take bread trucks, box trucks, sprinters, complete mobile shop. I love the bread trucks. They call the step vans, right? The old bread trucks. We don't have them here, but bread trucks are basically it's like a big kind of box truck, and they're just really fun. And they're a cool design. But yeah, if we had them here, I'd probably be like very tempted to like find an old one. And maybe. Yeah. I love my wingman camping setup on my bike. Oh, nice. Which bike do you set up on? What do you got, a Street Glide, Joe? Definitely wanted to hammock camp.
Come here, Seth, and go out with Dana.
Seth's convinced himself that he's going to go up to Pi and live in Pi for a month.
Do it.
I think it's too rural to be there for a month. It's like so remote.
Try a week first. Like you book for a week, and if you like it there, you extend to a month.
Oh, but he wants to stay at a Muay Thai camp, so he's got to kind of book like a package.
I don't know if Pi has a.
No, he found one.
Okay, then do it.
To me, it's just so remote.
You have internet there. You can enjoy Netflix, YouTube.
He's gonna. How do you get there from Chiang Mai if you're not driving? They got a bus.
I guess.
Oh, it's gonna be a sketchy bus ride.
Or maybe Songtel. I don't know.
That bus ride's gonna be so sketchy.
There might be like van service that you share with other people.
There's so many turns on that road.
Prepare the puke back with you.
Yeah, I mean, if you took a bus, I'd be so afraid. And actually, I think a bus fell off crashed off that road last year, right?
I don't know.
That's what started that double-decker bus conversation?
I don't think so. Who's going to drive double-decker?
I think that was the point. Is like, why were you driving a double-decker on that road?
It was supposed to be a stupid plan.
Yeah. But
nothing wrong with the road. It depends on the level of your
for a car,
intelligence.
A van, a big truck, not an issue. A bus, that's problematic. Wingman off the... Can you send me that on Facebook, Joe? I'll check it out later. Road King. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think motor camping, for me, like, I really love motor camping. I think it's a ton of fun. It's a good time. So you
guys come to Thailand at the same time and you go together with Dana, please.
Hey, if you guys all come at the same time, we'll do a motor camping trip somewhere. Actually, we could go visit Uncle Craig up in the Bangkok.
Oh.
And then head north from there a bit. Yeah.
Like halfway at Uncle Craig and then go further.
Yeah. That'd be a blast. I'm just inviting people out to Uncle Craig's. He's going to be pissed. I'm interested in Phuket, Hoi An, Bangkok, Chiang Mai, and Pai. So, again, like I think Pai's a bit too remote, Seth. That's my opinion. Chiang Mai's a great location.
The question, did you ever visit there? Pai?
No.
How can you have opinion?
That's true. So he's coming to this November, December. Should be fine for the north, right?
Yes.
Burning season, not start yet. Yeah.
Not yet.
So you have good air up north. That's the one thing.
You can go to Chiang Mai or Pai that time.
You'll have December. You'll have good air just about everywhere.
Yes.
Relative to that location.
So at Hua Hin and Phuket, not gonna be cold.
Yeah.
But nice air.
Pai and Chiang Mai will be a little chilly. Yeah.
Yeah. But from where you're from, maybe.
Yeah, for you it might be like brutal summer weather from OKC, but for Thailand they're chilly.
We wear sweater.
Yeah.
Why you just gonna wear like a tank top and shorts and flip flop to walk around?
Be sweating, yeah. So I would say air quality that time of year, it's good everywhere, right? Relative to that location, right? Obviously, Bangkok will be the worst air quality compared to like all those locations, but good for Bangkok. I would say Phuket always has pretty good air quality for the most part.
Yes. Almost always.
Almost always.
Sometimes get like
The Indonesian burn.
Yes, just
Yeah.
that. We cannot do anything with that. Just some time.
Chiang Mai, November, December, Pai,
Okay.
be nice, air quality, cool. Hoi Hin, be nice and not super hot. Bangkok will be hot, but not super hot. Yeah, I mean, all good locations. And again, Chiang Mai, Pai, probably the most rural of them all. Phuket probably has the highest concentration of camps.
Oh, it's like gonna be like a high season in Phuket. Like
yeah. Don't go to Phuket.
yeah, the end of year, like
Yeah.
everything gonna be expensive.
And you're going to
Sad.
be surrounded by Russian tourists.
Chinese too.
Chinese too, yeah. Phuket will be crazy busy that time of year.
Also Chiang Mai, nah. But Pai maybe you can get away with
Local tourists, which won't be bad. Like Thai tourists.
yeah. So yeah, you can try.
Yeah. I'll come out. I'll do a bike trip up. Could be fun. I have the toucan tent, sleeping bag, and cover all in one. Oh, nice. Schutz Industries makes all the Humvee trailers. They took this technology and made trailers. Okay.
I like Humvee.
Outlander. Yeah, I like that Outlander Overland stuff. One of my time off, they let me play in. Oh, that's sweet. Dana, maybe you can go to Pai with me and train Muay Thai with me my first week. Possible. December, I'll definitely have some off time. I'll most likely be coming over in June. Have to do the ID stuff. Oh, cool. Yeah, let me know when you're here, Dr. B. Would love to meet up.
Oh, June is raining.
Yeah, but he knows. He's back and forth from here all the time.
I know, but I mean, like, if you have a trip, it's
Yeah.
like raining time.
Not a bad time, though. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap up, babe.
Let me show my art first.
Okay. Jib's got update on her art. Sorry, forgot.
Oh,
Jib, my?
yeah.
Jib's been working really hard on this one, so 2 weeks. Are you 2 weeks into this? Like, this push?
Just color. 2 weeks to color.
But I'm saying, like, just this push.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. The big reveal. So much gold.
We'll go. Can you tell?
Yeah, nice.
And not finished yet because
Yeah.
I have to put more gold on the lady.
And the coins.
Like all accessory and this coin, and this will be like a silver leaves.
So this is going to be very... I like this painting a lot. And you can see Jib's color study on the side here.
Nice.
Yeah. A little washed out, but... Should I... Okay.
I like fabric pattern, no? You see the fabric pattern?
Yeah. So we're not going to announce end of month thing yet, right?
Pretty confirm,
Confirm for sure?
That's what teachers say.
All right, we'll wait one more week. All right, next week we'll have an announcement for the end of the month. Big announcement with for Jib art stuff comes at the end of the month. So next week we'll talk about that. And let's see, jump in real quick. Kimbo Camper, all right. What are you thinking of backpacking or bike tour? More looking at hotels in Bangkok off the metro. Oh, very cool. Sweet. Awesome, Jib. Yeah, I love how much tap, tap, tap with the gold. Actually, new technique with this one.
I just used a brush, like a brush for my face.
Sounds like my wife needs more gold.
Ah!
So we'll have actually I'll be putting a video up on the Random Idea Studio channel. Like we talked about, like we'll do a second channel, Random Idea Studio, for just random stuff of like actually the process of taking off the gold and after it's been applied to show how it gets finalized. It'll be a short. There's only like two. I re-uploaded 2 old videos on that channel just to have something there. But if you pop over Random Idea Studio, we'll start to put some like little things up over there
Has
while
to be
we.
video.
What's that?
Has to be video.
Yeah,
Okay, I will try to take some. more.
but it's just random stuff,
Yeah.
like nothing to do with the documentaries, because this channel will just be like lives and documentaries. Yeah, have a good one, Chris. We're about to wrap up as well. Crazy detailed, yeah.
Yes.
Where would one display this? Is there special hanging considerations? I know our silk is always placed in special glass. He's asking about the framing, I guess, and like how you would hang it.
Put in frame with what will you call the glass that
Anti-reflective.
Yes, but
Yeah.
not a museum glass. That one's so expensive that I cannot afford it.
Yeah, they have like a non-reflective glass. Like
Just that.
we have a few of the paintings hanging up. That's embroidery work.
That's
We
not.
have a painting over here, a couple paintings upstairs.
This one not reflect.
Which one? Oh, the little one from Teacher. Is this museum glass or is this just non-reflect?
Anti-reflection. How can I afford museum glass now? That's like 30K.
Yeah.
This one.
So you can see it picks up very little flare. There's a light, and keep in mind there's a light shining directly on this.
That's my teacher's work.
Yeah.
He gave it to me.
All right, well, with that, we're going to wrap it up, babe. So, guys, thank you for rocking with us, as always, and we'll see you next week. And don't forget, we'll have an announcement next week for regarding Jib's art.